Hey guys, welcome back. First of all, thanks for everyone who was watching my last build guide video. It did very well, over 5,000 views, so it actually motivated me to play this game more and see if I could come up with different ideas. So, one thing I do not like about Path of Exile 2 is the on-death effects from monsters. Dashing through with Ice Strike does not help at all when you just burst out and die. So, I included some range capabilities to the monk where mapping has become so much easier and I die so much less. I still use Ice Strike for single target, but Storm Wave is our key for mapping. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, guys, like the video, and hopefully I can come up with more ideas in the future. And like I said in the last build video, everything's going to be linked in the description below for a showcase and written build guides. Thanks for watching. Hope it helps. All right. Our main two abilities that we're using are Storm Wave for our mapping and Ice Strike for our bossing. Everything else that you see here is going to be the same, except the one thing we're changing when we're bossing is we're taking off Martial Temple from our Storm Wave and adding it to our Ice Strike. And when I say bossing, I'm talking about pinnacle bosses. I'm not talking about bosses that are in the map. You don't need to do this because we're already strong enough with Ice Strike to kill them in the map. It's no point. I mean, you can if you want. It's up to you, but it just saves you time. So, we're running dual Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder. But we're making Herald of Thunder do cold damage and Herald of Ice do lightning damage. So they mix and match and blow up your screen for you. I'm going to quickly just hover over the skill gems I'm using for everything, just so if you wish to pause the video, you can. Everything will be in a written guide in the description below. So if you don't really care about pausing the video, you could just go on that. Charge Staff, we're still using Charge Staff. It's amazing, generating power charges through our frenzy charges with that one node on our passive tree that I'll go over again. But the reason why we're using Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder is so that way we don't have to use that unique ring that is so hard to pronounce, and I won't even try. But that way we can add a different ring for more DPS. Grim Feast, who knows how long this thing will last before it gets nerfed, or if we're going to keep it, but we will see. Okay, one important thing is we have to get our critical strike chance above 50%. The way you check that is you go on an ability, for example, Ice Strike here, go to Advanced Information, and you go down a bit where you see critical hits. And you'll see your percentage there. Mine is 51.88%. The way you increase this is with passive nodes, having critical hit chance on your gear, especially your weapon, and also with jewels. That's very important because if you are below 50%, your build seems a bit sluggish, especially because we're using a skill gem called Ambush on our Storm Wave, which just increases our critical hit chance against enemies at full life. That way, you're critting almost every time and one-shotting almost every enemy, sometimes even rares. Alright, let's go over the passive tree a bit. So, starting with our Ascendancy, we're picking Lead Me Through Grace, I Am the Blizzard, and I Shall Rage to get our Unbound Avatar, which is a very, very strong skill when it comes to bossing. And then I went down to get Sunder My Enemies. It's just more DPS since we crit a lot. We are going with Chaos Inoculation. So all of our gear is stacking Energy Shield, which is fine with us because the Ascendancy Lead Me Through Grace, we gain Spirit the more Energy Shield we stack. The jewels we are using in this build, since we're stacking Energy Shield and we have 1 health, we are going to have to stack crit chance on our jewels. And as well, we need to gain our maximum shield as additional stun threshold. because if we don't have these on our jewels, we will get stunned by the most basic attacks and we will die. It's very annoying when it happens. It does happen, but these jewels do help. They really do help. So, just to hover over a little bit, you could pause the video here. Like I said before, everything's going to be in a written guide, so you could just follow that along. We are still using this node so we can gain power charges from our frenzy charges that we gain. We went up a bit so we get some more intelligence. More intelligence and more energy shield. Then you got to get this node. So since we have no health anymore, we want our potions to be healing our energy shield instead of our health. Because why would you be healing 1 health when you need energy shield? Anyways. More lightning damage. So the weird thing is, I made my Ice Strike do a lot of lightning damage with this passive tree. So you're freezing and shocking at the same time with Ice Strike. So you're proccing Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder. So more jewel sockets. The cool thing about this build is I think you have 4. I believe 4 or 5. I just looked at it and I forgot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jewel sockets. So you can stack a lot of crit damage, crit chance on them if you don't have them on your weapon. Just make sure, like I said before, you need to gain the maximum energy shield additional to stun threshold. That's very important because you do not want to get stunned by like little spiders and die. Especially in Delirium when the mirrors open up and like people are like rushing you and body blocking you. That's when these jewels come in handy. For our gear, I'm going to start with our body armor. The more energy shield you have on your body armor, the more spirit you have, so we can use our spirit gems / skill gems. So try your best to go for a high energy shield body armor. For our rings, since we're not using our unique ring, the one ring that no one can pronounce, the one ring to rule them all. I'm just kidding. I'm using with breach rings now. For me, I actually got some breach rings that increase our lightning damage, give all elemental resistance and lightning resistance. Then I added lightning modifiers on it to increase it even more. I got the same thing on the other side, so we do a ton more lightning damage and get a lot more resistance with just 2 rings. We're using our weapon of plus to all melee skills, attack speed, critical hit chance, very important, increased elemental damage with attacks, increased physical damage, and adds physical damage is not that important, but it's sweet to get. I was lucky enough to get a corruption with adds 3 to 58 lightning damage. I hope you're lucky too to get something even better. I'm using iron runes on my weapon and my chest piece as well, so I could get more energy shield. Helmet. For some reason, I got a corruption of all minion skills. Whoop-de-doo. I don't use minions, but whatever. It looks cool, I guess. It could have been bricked. But crit chance, rarity of your items, intelligence, fire resistance. Amulet, we are doing overwhelming strike for our allocations. This will increase our crit hit chance, our damage, and our stun build-up with critical hits. The stun build-up isn't really important. What's important is the crit hit chance and damage. And then we're going with crit hit chance, damage, mana regeneration. It's pretty important, so we're not running out of mana in a couple of hits. And then standard boots. Lucky enough to get 2 sockets. Haven't thought about what to put in them yet. Standard belt. And then hand of wisdom and action gloves. Very, very strong gloves. Probably going to be nerfed. I'm not sure yet, but we're using them right now. I got a corruption to maximum frenzy charges, which I thought will help having more power charges because frenzy charges get converted power charges, but they don't. Whatever. They're still strong, and we are using them. Weapon is not as strong as it could be, but it does the job, so you don't need a perfect weapon. All right, I'll show you a quick breach stone. This is level 81. And reminder, since we're fighting ads before we get to the boss, you can have Martial Temple on your Storm Wave. That's what I have here. And then once we're finished, we're to the boss, just take this off and put it to Ice Strike for single target damage. It just helps with speed, really, and the freeze buildup.
Lightning!
A quick tip is, if you can, try to save some power charges so you have them for the boss, and everything just becomes 10 times easier, especially if you're at max power charges.
The mighty fall!
That way your Ice Strike was already infused with the charge staff at full power. I remember I used to farm these all the time in PoE 1, man. Here I am, farming it again, PoE 2. Hopefully they come out with something like brand new. But, you know, it's still early access, so we'll see. I do miss Blight, but man, Blight would destroy my console. Go here? No. So we're coming close to the end, so I would try your best to save some power charges. Oh man, I really wish I had a loot filter, guys, you know?
Fate is on my side.
And remember, before you go in, switch your Martial Temple from your Storm Wave, put it into your Ice Strike, and we're good to go. Got full charges of Charge Staff, and let's do it. You have your Unbound Armor ready to go. Unbound Ultimate, as I call it. Pop it, and let's do it.
Frozen land.
Dodge that first one. Drop the bell. You should be gone. Alright, and that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. And if you have any suggestions on a different class to play or certain builds to try out or anything really, just leave it in the comments and we'll see what happens. Thanks again, guys. I hope you enjoy. Bye.